pause here to connect with our true nature, that of peace. Aware that we are not the source of that we are being sourced as that. That we then consciously and intentionally use this time and this service and this morning, this right now morning, this here and now time to shed a few skins. To exercise our power of choice and to return to our true nature in mighty, mighty ways. So I invite you, in the eye of your mind and the eye of your heart, to imagine you walking up to several pairs of shoes. Shoes that have fit you in the past. Shoes that you've worn. And that today you're going to try them on again. And you're going to decide which shoes are going to go with you. Which shoes you're going to leave behind. So look at a pair of shoes and name them anger. And step into them. See how it feels to step in angry shoes. And decide, if I had just enough of this. See if you can choose to put those aside now. They're no longer mine. They no longer fit me. They no longer serve me. They no longer move me in the direction of my goals for my life. They've had their part. They've served in some way. And I'm making another choice today. And step in a pair of shoes we'll call shame. See how that fits. See how tight it is, confining and constricting, binding, limiting. See, have you had enough shame to last you the rest of your life? And will you consciously step out of those shoes? The rest of my days, I'm going to wear different shoes. Step into a pair called guilt. Guilt. To notice what it does to your spirit to wear guilt. See how quickly you can get out of them. How quickly you can step back. I too have had enough guilt to last me the rest of my days. I'm choosing today. Try on a pair called fear. Fear. Fear that can't discern when there's no threat. Fear that's old, archaic. Fear that's been handed down for 2,000 years. Fear that I never questioned. See if it's lost some appeal to you. That too is losing its grip. Invite you to step out of those. And imagine now with a clean sweep moving those shoes away from you. These are no longer mine. These no longer serve my evolution. These no longer serve my spirit. Clear that these will not move me in the direction of my goals. Clear that there's pain associated with these. I'm shedding them now. And imagine another brighter pair of shoes in front of you. Shoes that appeal to you, shoes that you want to step into, shoes that you want to wear. You may call them empowered shoes, Superman shoes, Superwoman shoes, joy shoes, inspired shoes, possibility shoes, creation shoes, innovation shoes, love shoes. What shoe will you step into today? And really sink into them. Notice the fit and the support. And commit today. And even if the allure of those old shoes should appear, the power is within you to choose again. We begin again today. It is spring. We are springing forth. We're springing forth. As nature does, as the trees do, as the flowers do, we too are breaking out, opening up, shining our light and understanding that what we have is precious, and what we are is precious. We're living that out in the world now, and on purpose. That concludes the service. Thank you. What'd you hear so far? What'd you hear in the service so far?
Some strange noise there.
Let. Keep going. Well, now, some of you are just so grateful that that's not your cell phone. You can't focus. So, just before that, let the Spirit, it's like, that's the Spirit too.
Yeah.
So that's whatever you call it. So if you call that a problem, what are you going to experience?
A problem.
This is good news. Because if I name it a problem and then I experience it as a problem, who did that to me? So was it the ring or was it what I called it? This is basic unity. So I call it a problem, I get to have a problem. I call it tragic. What do I get to have? Tragedy. You're quick. I call it BAD. What do I get to have? What's she saying? So look around at somebody right by you and tell them you're really glad they came today. I'm really glad you came today. Really glad you're here. Now look back at the same people and say, however, this message is for me. However, this message is for me. So see if you can turn on some different ears as you begin to hear this then. Because you imagine then, when I name it, I become it.
Yeah.
When I name it, I experience. How does this inform you? How will this empower you? It says, okay, so at every situation, every interaction, there's two options for me. One hurts. One hurts less. One is painful. One is more peaceful. 100% of the time, there is another option for me.
Yes.
100% of the time, there's another option for me. And then what we're dealing with then is this old, archaic, outdated, 2,000-year-old belief system. Let's refer to it as our BS. And then there's a chance then today, right here, right now, to break through that BS, to break through some of that, to say, I'm going to shed some skin of BS, and I'm no longer going to live as a hostage to that BS. So then the quicker I can catch it naming something bad, problem, tragic, awful, pain will be the effect I go under. What's another option for me? Who would I be in this situation? Choosing peace.
More peaceful.
Who would you be in those interactions? Purposefully choosing peace.
Peace.
What would that feel like? Get a sense of it in your body if you can. Now, if you go home and start to practice this, the people around you will think you're on a new medication. They'll think you had a powerful meditation because they have not met you. They meet our personalities. They meet our personas, and personalities want. Personalities demand. Personalities have needs. Have you noticed? Personalities operate in the world of should. This should. This shouldn't. This should. Like I'm in charge. Who needs God when you've got me? Who needs God when we've got you to say how things should be? Then we're loco. Loco. Because every single should opposes reality. Every should. This is more good news. So it's not just literal to quit shoulding on yourself. It's not just a theory to not only not should on yourself, but to not should on us either. So what's it like in you when somebody shoulds on you? What's that like? I wish you could see your faces.
It's definitely not peaceful.
That's the reason not to do it. Because of how it feels when it's coming this way. That's the reason not to put that out in the world. In our relationships. In our children. In our partners, our colleagues. In our communities. if we can catch it. So begin to think about that then. If you eliminated the word should from your vocabulary. Like, let's get real with this. Let's get concrete with this. So how to undo this 2,000-year-old paradigm by systematically taking down what put it in place in the first place. The building blocks of it, the shoulds and the shouldn'ts. So, traffic should flow. Fantasy or reality? All together?
Fantasy.
Let's have a little choir. Let's impress Dr. J. Fantasy! Fantasy! Traffic should flow. People should understand me. Where'd you get that? You don't even understand you. So it is a hopeless matter to believe that we will. We're too far gone here to understand anything else. So now get a sense of it then, if you no longer believe that after this morning, if after this second, you could no longer believe a should. So you'd have a thought, it'll still come, as long as you've got a pulse. Traffic should flow. You may just laugh. Or smile, like, well, that's false. That's not reality-based. Then you'll have a thought, like, they should have invited me to their party. And they didn't. What's the effect on you when you're believing they should have invited you to their party and they didn't? Upset, frustrated, irritated. Now this is the high spiritual types. Mad as a wet hen. Righteous, after all I've done for them, and after all I've done for God. It gets funnier and funnier. Like, who needs cinema when you've got us? So who would you be in that interaction if you simply didn't believe you should have been invited? More peaceful. Who would you be if you didn't mind?
Peace.
I'd be at peace. Peace wouldn't just be a theory. Like, peace is possible. Interaction to interaction. Invitation to invitation. Card by card. Attitude by attitude. Peace is possible. It's not so mysterious or so aloof. It's available to me. So get a sense of it in your body and turn to somebody and tell them, you know, peace is an option for me. Tell somebody, peace is an option for me. Peace is a new option for me. Peace is an option. Now turn back to that person and say, it's an option for you too. Peace is an option for you also. So at any minute, regardless of the situation, peace is an option for me. And then we've got the allure. You don't know what they've done to me. I don't. Only you know that. And even in that, peace is an option. Have you had just enough of that? Have you had just enough of dredging the past and the hurt of the past and the shame and the guilt of the past? To have just enough of that. So I don't know anything about why that had to be. And I'm out of those shoes now. I don't know anything about that or why. I know there's another option for me. That's what I'm going for. That's what I'm going to live from. And then some of your family and friends will go, don't you let that go that easy. You know, you'll be condoning that. This doesn't condone anything. It doesn't make it okay. It doesn't make it all right. It makes it over. My favorite thing about the past, it's over. And then more power to say what's possible for me here. What's possible for me here. So I'm not condoned anything. I don't say it's okay. I say I've had plenty of it. And I see another option for myself. And it starts here. Now, what would stop you from choosing peace? Resentments. Patterned ways of being. Old patterns, habits. The track I run on. Holding resentment. Keeping score. Grudges. Not thinking that I can. Or forgetting that I can. Like not keeping it present to me as an option can keep me from choosing it. Self-protection. Self-protection. Value. Righteousness. Thank you. Honest. Familiar. The old shoes. The old skins. So get a sense then of, for no reason other than I've suffered enough, I'm going to drop the resentments. Not for them. For who? I want to live a lighter life. I want to have a hair more joy. And I don't like being bogged down in that, stuck in the mud of those resentments. So get a sense of that. If today, just like you're going to, some of you don't know this yet, but you're going to leave the shoes you're wearing in a box out there in the lobby. You're the last to know. So get a sense of, as you pull those off, that you unload something else today too. The hurts, the pains, the resentments, the grudges, the blame, the shame, anything that you can unload. No more trying to explain it. No more trying to make sense of it. I cannot make sense out of things that make no sense. You can't make sense out of things that things that do not make any sense. So then surrender to, I can't make sense of this. And I'm not putting my energy, my vital life force, trying to make sense out of things that do not make sense to me. I'm going to crawl out of that skin, leave that old shoe behind, and I'm going to step into something that's far more interesting to me. For my sake. And for the sake of the one life. The sake of the one life journey that I have here. And regardless of what happened back there, I'm going to be on a different road for whatever's left, for whatever's coming. I'm going to be on a different road from this. So I want to read to you from the text. You heard a very powerful reading this morning from B about where peace is and the allure to look for peace. Now in a minute we'll sing probably, let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with her. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with her. Let there be peace on earth, soon as he apologizes to me, I will. Well, this is the irony of this. Versus let there be peace on earth, from the only place there can be peace on earth. The only possibility of peace in my family, in my relationship, in my community, in Nashville, Tennessee, is to have peace here. Peace here. That when there's peace here, there's possibility for peace in the projection. So clear the lens. Clear the lens for your own sake. This is what we'll be doing this afternoon. Some of you that'll stay, you'll feel like you're being mentored and tormentored. And that's my role. If you can't stay, the work is free, and it's at thework.com. And I'm reading an excerpt from the textbook on how to incorporate this and how to integrate this and how to live it out in your life. You can get it in any libraries, online. This little book's available as an excerpt from the website also. Take a big deep breath. Be aware you've crawled out of a skin or two this morning. Be aware that you've consciously left something behind. That you've consciously chosen enough. Had just enough of it. The only time we suffer is when we believe a thought that argues with what is. See if you can say it. The only time I suffer is when I argue with what is. So who's holding your key to peace?
Me.
This is good news. I'm holding the key. I can check out of Hell Hotel anytime. Because who checked me in?
Me.
So I'm holding the key to get out of here. If you want reality to be different than it is, welcome to hell. What is simply what is. Now imagine, going back to imagine you've had a flat tire. You call that flat tire a problem, what will you experience? If you call that flat tire what it is, a flat tire, what will you experience? No problem. This is what is. What can I do in relationship to what is?
Yeah.
Cannot change what is. I can change a tire. Quickly, effectively, innovatively, creatively, just like that. Or I can moan about that flat tire all the way to my grave. And this is what we're dealing with. Have you noticed? Because if you don't catch it, you'll leave here buzzed high in a high vibration, not even knowing what happened, but feeling different, feeling blessed, and then boom, flat tire. Did you hear what happened? Well, I thought you went to church, Martha. Well, I did. Oh, how was it? Well, it was fine till I had a flat tire. Why me? That's what I want to know. Why me? I'm a mind reader. One of the tenets of the work is to meet thoughts with a broader understanding. Meeting thinking with a different framework. and it practices and guides us to practice inquiry. To actually say, is this true? They should have invited me to their party. Is that true? Is that thought reality-based? Back to reality I go. How do I feel when I believe they should have invited me? Irritated, upset, left out, rejected, abandoned, traumatized. Who would I be if I simply didn't believe they should have invited me? Calmer, more peaceful, moving in the direction of something that interested me. And then eventually, you'll be down on your knees thanking the God of your understanding that you didn't get invited. Because you didn't even want to go anyway.